and gentlemen, this is War Games. Ladies and gentlemen, now, the first man in War Games. He's a member of Team VIP. This is Darren De Niro.
As we begin War Games here at IWC Caged Fury, it's an annual Caged Fury tradition. We'll be joined by the super genius 105.9's Mark Madden. Welcome to the show.
I love War Games. I love Caged Fury. I saw a whole bunch of War Games back in the day with WCW. I saw Sid Vicious almost kill Brian Pillman with the powerbomb in War Games. That wasn't really planned to go that way, much to Brian's chagrin. What intrigues me about War Games, Joe, is always the order in which the guys enter. We got Darren De Niro entering. Why not VIP Joe Rosa? Why not the captain of the team? Why doesn't he take the responsibility? I'm not saying it's a bad move. I just wonder.
Team VIP received the numbers edge back at Proving Ground as a result of the controversial ending to that tag team match that led to Bubba the Bulldog emerging on the scene.
It is now time to introduce the first member of the Founding Fathers. He is the only 5-time IWC champion.
That can only be one guy. War Machine himself, Dennis Gregory.
Well, again, the captain taking responsibility in this case, taking it on himself. I'll tell you what, I know experience means a lot.
This is Dennis Gregory.
I'm going to guess that nobody on Team VIP has been in a War Games match, Joe. But still, as the match wears on, and don't forget, it can't be decided until everybody's in the cage. Youth is very often served. That's why it's so tough to pick a winner in this matchup.
And I'll tell you what, great decision in my estimation for Dennis Gregory to come out here first. Keep in mind Jimmy Vegas, recovering from a severe quadricep injury. Super Hentai, recovering from a knee injury sustained in Super Indy. Bubba the Bulldog, he hasn't had a match in IWC in some 3 years or so. Dennis Gregory, the closest to 100% they've got, and the most experienced in these War Games matches. He's come out the hero more than once.
I want to make it very clear, too, that while I love Bubba the Bulldog, great in the ring, great on the radio, when it comes to radio personalities in the building tonight, Joe, he can only be second best at
A new
best.
man enters after 3 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, let the War Games begin.
And Gregory apparently had a little pre-match celebration that he's taken in the cage with him. Should be interesting to see if that will help or hinder him.
Now, is Darren De Niro wearing jeans?
He is.
And never wear jeans.
That's kind of the...
Wait, is Gregory wearing jeans?
Why that Gregory's wearing camo pants? He's ready to fight.
Well, my eyes aren't not as good as they used to be, Joe.
Well, Darren De Niro, Corpo, the faces have changed. They've come out here in jeans as a bunch of rogue outsider types to try to take the Founding Fathers off their perch over the past year or so. We've really never seen them in traditional garb, but really in War Games, it's De Niro down for a cover, but that doesn't really mean anything early on.
Well, if anybody can take the Founding Fathers down, it's this group of young guys, no question.
Well, we saw back in December at Winner Take All, they almost ended the Founding Fathers' careers until Super Hentai emerged to save the day at the 11th hour.
Well, Darren De Niro certainly looks the part, and as of right now, he's playing the part well. Definitely the edge to Darren De Niro so far.
De Niro, a great amateur background as well, but something tells me that won't come into play here.
No, it rarely does in War Games, Joe.
Gregory, as we mentioned, has been the hero in War Games many a times in the past. He knows war very well. He's served our country in the Middle East numerous times. He's come back a legitimate war hero and veteran. Wheelbarrow suplex, nicely done.
Now, how could you bet against Dennis Gregory? Not only that, he's a veteran of the ring. He's a veteran of war. He's not an old guy. I think he started wrestling when he was like 15. He still has a lot left in the tank, is my point, Joe.
Absolutely. You got to wonder, though, will he have the endurance of a Darren De Niro as this match presses on?
Well, like you said earlier, Joe, when you look at the 4 guys on the Founding Fathers, he was the most logical to start.
Absolutely true. And De Niro has never been in an environment like this before.
You can tell, I mean, I don't want to say he looks rattled, but you can tell this is a very different experience for him.
Well, he's getting pelted in the chest right now with a glass booze bottle.
See what I mean? Rarely happens.
Rarely happens. Especially here in IWC Wrestling, but you never know what you're going to get. Caged Fury, one of the most unpredictable nights of the year.
Especially with the cage being bigger, higher than any cage in wrestling.
And reinforced, too.
You can use the cage as a weapon, and there's a lot more cage to use.
But that space is going to get taken up quite quickly. 3-minute equally timed intervals to have the rest of the contestants
Are
enter.
they really equally timed, Joe? Who's timing them?
The timekeeper.
20 seconds.
There you go.
Suplex attempt, superplex, I should say.
When I was in WCW, I used to put a stopwatch on the intervals during War Games. They weren't real happy about that.
You didn't trust Penzer?
5, 4,
Not in or out of the ring.
2, 1.
Who's next?
Joe, you got your Virgil DVD. If I did a Penzer DVD, that would be the perfect companion piece.
VIP.
And you want to talk about companions? Justin Idol, the Benedict Arnold, the man that betrayed the Founding Fathers, almost cost them their career, now may have cost Darren De Niro a future family.
Well, this 2-on-1 you get in War Games that Team VIP earned. There is no bigger advantage in any wrestling match than the 2-on-1, the 3-on-2, the 4-on-3 in War Games.
And Gregory up the back of Idol. Keep in mind, Idol became a Founding Father after Hentai lost his IWC career, but Idol, right as the night Hentai returned, betrayed the group. Idol, there's a lot of open questions in my mind about his motivations, but one thing is for sure, Idol wants to destroy the Founding Fathers tonight.
Well, I'm glad to see Hentai back in IWC for any number of reasons, Joe, but I think he should be involved in this. I think given his past, his glorious history in IWC, if anybody should help decide the fate of the guys he worked with and against for so many years, it's Super Hentai.
Gregory eyeing up that cage. Dare I say, some vintage Dennis Gregory pulling a trick out from the old school.
Here's where Dennis Gregory's tremendous. He's in, he's outnumbered 2-on-1. He does not show one sign of fear, not one little bit. He has a severe disadvantage, but it doesn't matter. He's dividing and conquering one at a time.
Yeah, he's controlling the tempo as well as Idol, like a javelin, flung into the side of the cage.
Now these guys, Idol and De Niro, they got to get organized in there. When you have the 2-on-1 edge, you got to get organized in there. Nobody better than that back when than the Four Horsemen. The minute they got that 2-on-1 edge, which due to an incredibly lucky series of coin flips they always had, they went in there and they took it to them right away. They never let the guy at the disadvantage breathe.
So do you think this could be a case where the captain VIP Joe Rose is missed right now?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I can understand him not starting the match, but maybe if he'd be in there now for the 2-on-1, he could lend some organization.
Well, Rose's MO has been to let his underlings do his work for him. We've seen that throughout the bulk of this year. And look at Gregory, using his surroundings to his advantage.
He's amazing so far. It's too early to pick an MVP of War Games, but right now he's the only choice.
Gregory using the battlefield to his advantage. Both faces have changed down.
How about that video LeBar sent before? Prefacing the Rhino turn, him joining Team LeBar. That was kind of creepy.
Most things involving LeBar are. It'll be even more uncomfortable, though, if Rhino's IWC champion.
It looked like one of those videos you buy from under somebody's table at a garage sale. Or like a, a drive-in, what do they call it, auction. Or flea market. Oh, here he comes. The big man.
And what is the condition of the quadricep? Vegas has been limping and hobbling for months. Now he finally gets to fight.
Well, what he has to do is make that quadricep a minor factor. Jimmy's never been one to take to the air anyway, but he's got to stay grounded and do what he's doing right now. All kinds of power.
And notice shielding Dennis Gregory, giving Denny a chance to recover.
Well, the teamwork. They've shown more teamwork since they got the 2-on-2 than the Team VIP showed when they had the 2-on-1 edge.
I'd agree with that, absolutely. Founding Fathers have fought together for upwards of 5-6 years. They've known each other for well over a decade. Friend and foe, they know each other better than maybe any other two men in the IWC roster do. Gregory and Vegas, former tag champions together as well.
No question. And these are two guys. I mean, their history speaks for itself. Their friendship, when they worked against each other, too, that speaks for itself. I mean, if there was an IWC Mount Rushmore, you can make a strong argument both those two men would be on it.
Very much so. And again, to your point, the teamwork has allowed that 2-on-1 advantage we saw for 3 minutes completely evaporate at this point.
You know, Joe, War Games is an odd match because right now you can have the biggest edge possible. You can be doing incredible damage to your opponents, but you can't win the match. You can't win till everybody's in there. So you're basically trying to just wear the other guys down. It's a different kind of wrestling, a different kind of competition till you get everybody in there.
Right. It's a war of attrition, really. You got to make sure there are as few able bodies left as possible on the other team by the time all 8 men have entered.
When Michael Hayes was in WCW, he made it a point in War Games to always go in last. No matter who his teammates were, Freebirds, or some, group with the Freebirds, he always went in last.
Would not be surprised to see Rosa take the Michael Hayes approach.
I remember the Dangerous Alliance used to always send Bobby Eaton in first because he had the cardio, he had the endurance, he had everything to survive over that long period of time. The running order in this match, Joe, that's as important as anything in terms of deciding it.
We'll also talk about the classic War Games of the 80s when Dusty Rhodes and Arn Anderson represented their respective teams first.
Dusty was a son of a gun in War Games, wasn't he? That chorus line of elbows. Then at the end, JJ on the apron doing the Hanagane.
15 seconds.
15 seconds before the numbers edge favors. Faces have changed once more.
Seconds.
Now, I see we were talking about experience.
5,
Darren De Niro
4,
looks
3,
tired. That's not to say he won't
2,
regroup.
1.
Right now, he has Dennis Grit at a disadvantage. But this is different. He hasn't done it before. It's different.
VIP Roger Corpo.
And much to that point, the other inexperienced athlete in War Games, Roger Corpo, the face of change partner of De Niro, they both only have about a year in. How will Corpo affect the numbers edge? And Gregory right into him with a fist press.
Boy, I'll tell you, there's a lot of great competitors in that cage right now, Joe. The most motivated guy is Dennis Gregory.
Without question. And with Jimmy Vegas watching his back, Dennis Gregory maybe bulletproof at this point.
This is where you really have to trust the guys on your team, too. Imagine if Jimmy Vegas decided, well, what if this was a 4-on-1? Sure would be easier, but you're not going to get that from Jimmy Vegas. Oh! In fact, quite the opposite.
And Corpo bouncing off of not just the ropes, but the steel behind them.
Yeah, it's not gone well for Corpo since he got into War Games, has it?
Gone well for really any team VIP. Oh, right to the knee. Right to the Adrian quadricep muscle. You can see it's heavily braced still.
Well, that's good strategy. Joe, let me ask you. Once everyone's in the cage, will Team VIP be beaten down, or will the youth and cardio kick in?
I think it's going to depend on how Joe Rosa can rally the troops. We've seen a little disagreements between VIP and especially De Niro in recent months, especially with Rosa forcing his hand to take De Niro's fan-voted Super Indy spot. If Rosa can be that general, that team leader that you're asking for, Mark, I think that this team can be very, very dangerous. If not, the Founding Fathers have proven they're cohesive and they're experienced.
Joe Rosa's a great leader as long as you don't mind every decision directly benefiting him.
That's a great way to put it. But you can check this out. Triple super kick. And now, there's a pinfall. And Gregory.
Dennis Gregory has been eliminated.
This isn't the War Games I remember, Joe.
Gregory, hey, it's a new day and age. Gregory's been eliminated. So let's reset this. This now means that Jimmy Vegas is 3-on-1 disadvantaged.
Well, traditionally in War Games, a decision can't be rendered till everybody's in the ring, but apparently IWC has come up with an exciting new version.
We've rewritten the rules here. You got to wonder, maybe this was a Team VIP demand.
Well, that's a big loss.
Yeah, the MVP, as you call it.
Fathers, absolutely.
15 seconds.
And Vegas on one leg, maybe at best now.
10
There's no way you can be 100%. He was good to go, but he wasn't cured from this quadricep injury. Let's make no mistake.
Well, and especially now, having to climb uphill. Well, let's see what happens here because he's going to get some help.
From the founding fathers, Super Hentai.
The controlled aggression, the howling fury of the Super Indie Innovator, Super Hentai, and he's taking it to the next level right off the bat.
What the founding fathers need, Joe, is to eliminate somebody soon. Because they can't keep going down 2 men. Well, they'll be down 4-on-2 when VIP Joe Rosa enters the cage. They need to eliminate somebody soon. Hentai all the way up high.
Hentai from way up high! Crossbody to all 3 faces of Cage. Talk about motivation and passion. The man that lost his IWC career some 2 years ago came back this past December with a purpose, focusing now on the man that replaced him in the Founding Fathers, Justin Idol. Davey Boy Smith power slam counter.
You don't often see guys as agile. Oh, wait. I'm afraid I've got some bad news.
Full Nelson slam by Vegas. And Hentai going back upstairs.
Here's some teamwork. Wow.
Oh, is Hentai going to do the Davey Boy Smith power slam? The second turnbuckle.
It's got to be a pin.
Justin Idol is out.
That's exactly what the Founding Fathers needed. And by the way, you don't see many guys who can fly like Hentai that also have the power like Hentai.
Absolutely. I think he's probably the best built in his weight class. And now it's Vegas and Hentai versus De Niro and Corpo, the 2 most inexperienced men, and Idol lands on his head on the outside.
You know, in war games, you can get beat down. I'm not saying any of these athletes will give up, but sometimes it looks like a good option. If you've been in there for 10, 20 minutes, and it's nonstop punishment, which the members of Team VIP have absorbed, the faces have changed. I mean, we'll see how committed they are. We'll see what kind of guts they have.
Absolutely will. Vegas focusing on Corpo. It's De Niro and Hentai. And there's no mistake, no error about the 4th and final member of Team VIP.
They're going after that quad now, man. They're trying to take Jimmy Vegas' legs out from under him.
And it may not be a difficult situation. Vegas rushed his recovery. Speeded through rehab.
He had to. He had to be here tonight.
1. And the next man to enter War Games, the leader of Team VIP, accompanied by Mrs. VIP Ashley, VIP Joe Rosa.
And Rosa conveniently enters the fray.
Not a lot of urgency, is there?
Not at all. 1 Founding Father eliminated. 1 potentially seriously hurt. And the other Hentai just barely surviving.
What is he waiting for? Why won't he get in the cage?
Again, letting the heavies do the work. Manipulating De Niro and Corpo just as he has since the faces have changed revealed themselves a year ago.
This is exactly what Michael Hayes did when he was the last guy in War Games, Joe. Took his time going in there. We'll see what Rosa has to offer once he is inside the cage.
Oh, look at Hentai. Hentai fighting off De Niro and Corpo. Double roll through. Hentai creates some distance. Oh, geez. Hentai, I think, went for the knee strike. Caught in midair and planted.
I'd want Hentai on my team any day, Joe.
And now Rosa, straight from the top. Well, Rosa made his entrance count on top of Hentai. He could get him here. Rosa just beat him.
Well, his boys did the heavy lifting and he did the honors. And there's nothing wrong with that. The key is to get your opponent at a numbers disadvantage. Hentai now out, and he was having a pretty good War Games.
But again, now Vegas, who has arguably struggled the most, but in Vegas, he's got, excuse the expression, bigger balls and more heart than just about anybody in this company. But it comes a time your body will give out on you.
No question, no question. And I would never want to say he's easy pickings, but maybe 3-on-1 with a bad wheel, he's as close to it as Jimmy Vegas ever has been.
Still taking shots, fighting up from a seated position.
And they just keep hitting him in the quad. They just keep drilling that bad leg.
And there's too many of them. Just too many. Rosa on top. Corpo working on the leg.
Well, and clearly the confidence of the Faces of Change has grown after Hentai and Gregory have been eliminated. Now they have this. I mean, even when Bubba gets in, it's still 3-on-2.
And what condition is Bubba in? We haven't seen him in an IWC ring in years.
A hush has fallen over the crowd, Joe.
Yeah,
30 seconds.
It's looking bleak for the Founding Fathers, I don't mind telling you.
Well, it might be because the crowd's been drinking as well.
Look at that! Vegas! Vegas just popped up!
10.
Check out this adrenaline, this recovery!
7,
Yeah!
Vegas
5,
fighting for his life!
4, 3, 2, 1. And the final entrant into War Games.
Bubba not wasting time!
Bubba the Bulldog.
Bubba, the man that founded IWC in 2001, the original Founding Father, going to work.
Wow, Bubba's laying him in there, Joe.
It has been years since Bubba has been in IWC. He was here as a spectator at Proving Ground, but found himself in the mix and now finds himself legally in the match. But can Bubba carry the weight?
He's amazing. To come back and do what he's attempting to do on behalf of the promotion he founded, A+ for effort, even higher than that for guts.
But you notice the Founding Father shut down.
Well, Vegas is on one leg now, period. And, you know, he's down. I don't know if he's out. Bubba already's had a bit of starch taken out of him. It's an uphill battle now for the Founding Fathers.
And it says a lot about Vegas that no one has been able to pin him or make him submit as of yet. But it may be a formality. And now Bubba, the numbers game, too. Oh, well, look at this, miscue. Corpo hit Rosa.
Rosa will not be happy.
Bubba none too happy as well. Bubba with a spinning Uranagi. Corpo's out of there.
There you go. That's what they needed. 2-on-2 now, but the Founding Fathers have 3 legs between them. It's still going to be tough.
And now maybe, just maybe, there's a chance.
Well, now Rosa really has to hold up his end of it now that it's 2-on-2. And let's see how he responds as the leader.
Rosa still has De Niro by his side. And Vegas, no fear. Him and Bubba moving right in.
Well, and now that it's 2-on-2, the Faces of Change can't keep 2 guys on Vegas and keep taking that leg apart.
That's true. I think if De Niro can just neutralize Vegas and leave Rosa to deal with Bubba, that may be the best strategy. But you're not gonna put Vegas anywhere he doesn't want to go.
Wow, the resilience of Vegas who's really taken to De Niro. Well, no sooner do I say it than De Niro comes right back and puts Vegas on his back.
And Bubba with the enziguri. And again, keep in mind the experience. The first War Games match in IWC history was in 2004. The threesome on one side of the ring, Dennis Gregory, Jimmy Vegas, Bubba the Bulldog. They have a long-standing history in this match type and together.
Oh, great counter there by Rosa.
And again, it's been a long time since Bubba's back has hit that canvas. Will he be able to adjust? He's hurt.
I got to tell you, there's a lot of things I don't like about VIP Joe Rosa. First and foremost, I'm not sure how much courage he has. He puts others in harm's way. But, boy, he's smart. He is very cerebral in there.
What is that, a steel chain? Rosa's come prepared. Hidden in those obnoxious white jeans of his. And the steel chain
Those
connects.
are going to come back in style.
There's a cover. And, oh, Bubba. Half a count away from Bubba out of this equation.
You don't often see a radio host kick out after getting hit with a steel chain.
And
I think Randy Bauman did it once.
if Bubba is eliminated, if Vegas is left all alone, you got to believe that it's only a matter of time.
If you were the faces of change, Joe, who would you be trying to put out? Who would you want the 2-on-1 with at the end?
Well, under normal circumstances, I'd say Jimmy Vegas, but Jimmy Vegas is no normal human being.
Well, I mean, Jimmy Vegas is the bigger, stronger guy, but he also, again, has one leg under him. Bubba's a little bit older, but then again, he's extremely motivated, and he has two good legs under him. I think they should, with Vegas down, I think they should isolate Bubba. That's what I would do.
Which I can't disagree with here, because Vegas, at the moment, has been disposed of. He's motionless in the corner.
Yeah, look at him hold on to that quad. Oh, and now just twisting that leg.
That's uncomfortable.
That would hurt even if he had a good quad.
Think about the injuries, the Triple H's, the Kevin Nash's over the years, how many months it took them, the arduous pain to battle back from these quad injuries. Vegas did it in half the time, if that.
Yeah, and Jimmy's carrying a lot of muscle, a lot of bulk on top. I mean, well, so did Tripp, so did Kevin, but that just emphasized how hard it is to come back. Oh! Superplex off the top.
And that could be a knockout shot. No founding fathers are moving.
I don't know, though. Rosa hit pretty hard, too. That's one problem with those moves off the top rope.
The cover. Oh, Bubba kicked out.
Bubba is truly inspirational to this point in the match, Joe. And look at Rosa. I'm not sure Rosa knows what to do.
Vegas is grabbing at Rosa. Rosa kicking away like an alligator's got him. Just desperately fighting him off to save his life. Vegas and Rosa was really the precipice, the beginning of this whole rivalry a year ago, and Vegas has always wanted to get his hands on Rosa a little bit more than the rest of the faces.
You got to give De Niro credit. He's been in there the entirety of the match, and he looks to have gotten a second win.
Wild swing by Bubba. Didn't catch all of it, though. Pile driver.
Oh, that's got to do it.
Outlawed in most of this industry, and with good reason.
See, now why isn't Rosa covering him right away?
That's a good question. Feels like he doesn't need it, maybe. No!
See, that's Rosa mugging and posturing and blowing a golden opportunity right there.
Again, he thinks he's VIP. All he cares about is himself.
You want to lead. George Patton would have moved in for the cover right away. Paul McCartney, I could name all kinds of great leaders. They cover the guy right away.
Paul McCartney would have covered him right away.
Absolutely. In wings more than Beatles.
Well, it's methodical, but it's effective right now from Team VIP. And again, Vegas barely able to move without just agony running up and down his body. Bubba practically lifeless.
Don't forget, when something like that's heard, all the pressure transfers to the adjoining joints. Adjacent, rather.
Oh, spike pile driver. What more can you do? De Niro plays spoiler. Rosa gets the cover. That time, Bubba eliminated.
The Bulldog has been eliminated.
I cringe every time I see a pile driver. I know how many guys have been hurt with that maneuver. The spike pile driver that much more reckless and endangering. And now, Jimmy Vegas on one leg.
Vegas, he doesn't have his balance, but look at this. Back suplex, almost as shades of the cha-ching slam. Vegas just pinned an arrow.
That's amazing, out of nowhere.
Oh, Vegas biding his time, perhaps. But
well, if he could pull this off on one leg, that would be classic. It would be absolutely epic.
Vegas came out of nowhere with that, but no pun intended, was that the last stand of Jimmy Vegas? Does he have anything left?
It's a good question. People often confuse last gasp with new beginnings.
And now we end where we started, with Rosa in Vegas's face, and Vegas doing what he can to fight on.
Hey, I got to give De Niro credit. De Niro was in there until just moments ago when he got pinned. He had a great War Games. In fact, right now he's the MVP. But Jimmy Vegas, if he pulls this off, wow.
Oh, Rosa's found a chair from ringside. Maybe in the chair the official was sitting in on the outside, and this could be the exclamation point. No, Vegas!
Uh-oh.
And Vegas has a weapon. Rosa's spine crunched. The power of Jimmy Vegas, one leg or not.
I think they want one more time, Joe.
Rosa would disagree. Out of the head. A knockout shot by Vegas.
Jimmy, pin him now. What are you waiting for?
And Rosa downstairs. Vegas has shown a Herculean-like effort to stay in this like he has.
Well, now it's desperation. That's the word to describe what will transpire from here on out, desperation.
Vegas desperate to fight, Rosa desperate to survive.
Now, you see, I always question when guys manifest their destination this way because escaping does him no good. You don't win the match by escaping.
And Vegas not going to let him. Oh, this is dangerous for everybody. Oh, cha-ching slam. God! Vegas with a cha-ching slam.
Yeah, but he got a little cha-chinged himself.
On one good leg, no way Vegas could have the balance to protect himself like he needed to. He has blocked out the pain, but rest assured, every step means agony for Vegas. And now a crossface. Vegas would love to see Rosa admit defeat. And we have a tap out.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winning team of War Games, Jimmy Vegas and the Founding Fathers.
What Jimmy Vegas did, Joe, can't be done. That's incredible to come back, beating a numbers disadvantage and doing it all on one leg.
Jimmy Vegas proves his weakness. Could have also potentially been his biggest driving strength to press on. Prove the doubters, prove the critics wrong. Jimmy Vegas was ready for war, and Jimmy Vegas was the sole survivor.
Very fitting, too, that VIP Joe Rosa was in there by himself at the end and couldn't get the job done.
Couldn't depend on others. Had to face the music. And Rosa waving out help. And that's De Niro. And that's Corpo again. Now, hopefully, they'll just pick up the carcass and leave.
How often does that happen?
I underscore hopefully. Vegas won, but he can't even stand at this point.
Is it just me, or do I see some dissatisfaction between the members of Joe Rosa's team?
There's some dissatisfaction. Rosa's blaming De Niro. He got eliminated. Corpo too. Oh no. They're going to finish Vegas. Vegas in no condition to fight here, but he will. I think we've seen the finish of something, but it may be the faces of change.
Joe, didn't you feel this was going to boil over sooner, not later?
We saw some warning signs. We saw some displeasure, but De Niro and Corpo for the first time standing up for themselves and being their own men.
Well, you can only treat people second rate for so long, Joe. Believe me, I do it every day.
And Vegas smiling bigger than anybody at Rosa's plan blowing up in his own face. De Niro finishes off Rosa with his specialty. And a ceasefire between the faces of change in Vegas.
Well, the faces of change, if there even is still a faces of change now, Joe, they got to respect what Jimmy Vegas did in there. An amazing performance.
And you got to respect De Niro and Corpo being their own men, coming into their own and standing up to Joe Rosa. But you're right, an amazing effort from Jimmy Vegas as he brings the fight home for the Founding Fathers.
Well, now here in the runway, there's more friction between the faces of change.
Justin Idol back out here. Vegas last rites on VIP Joe Rosa.
Well, I gotta admit, I understand why De Niro and Corpo did what they did, but this match started with them all on the same team.
Standoff with Vegas and Idol. We do have to get Rosa out of here. We have more to come here, Caged Fury.
I think Jimmy Vegas has done his part, Joe.
And then some. Vegas exceeding all expectations.
Look at Vegas. Vegas is still drooling contempt for his opponents. He's still very mad.
Vegas, you gotta believe he can go through, in his mind at least, he can go through War Games all over again. And now time to take out the trash. Joe Rosa's empire has fallen.
Yeah, where's he go from here, Joe?
Apparently still with Justin Idol in his employ. But what will the future be for the IWC Championship? Tommy Dreamer to defend against Rhino as the Founding Fathers come out to have a celebration en masse. The IWC title in jeopardy. It could wind up in the possession of Justin LaBar.
Well, we have to address Justin LaBar and the creepy video he sent and the creepy grip he appears to have on so many here in IWC. We know for a fact LaBar's not here, Joe.
From what we understand, he is not here. I haven't seen him all day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of War Games, the team of Super Hentai, Bubba the Bulldog, Dennis Gregory, Jimmy Vegas. They are the Founding Fathers.
But it's great to see the Founding Fathers here, and we are just moments away. Dreamer, Rhino, IWC title up next.
Representing Team LaBar from Detroit, Michigan, weighing 280 pounds, the man-beast, Rhino.
Two-time former world champion and the last ever ECW World and Television Champions of record, Rhino. Another one of those individuals who's been around a long time, but still in the prime of his career.